Well, it was a six-pack and quite the hangover for the Dodgers. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to a new week of Dodgers Latest right here on our Dodgers YouTube channel. Thank you for continuing the growth, the comments, the thumbs up. Keep hitting that thumbs up button as we continue to grow and give you the best coverage of Dodger baseball right here on Dodgers Latest. You can always hit me up right there on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. And yeah, man, what can you possibly say about what the Dodgers have run into in the Brewers, right? They swept them again at Dodger Stadium. They swept them in the season series. That is only the third time in a six-game series that the Dodgers have been swept for the season. The 25 Brewers, the 06 Cardinals, and the 94 Braves all swept the Dodgers for the season. 94, there was no playoffs because of a strike. The 06 Cardinals ended up winning the World Series that year. What will happen to the 25 Brewers, who now have won 10 straight? And I'll tell you what, I was at Dodger Stadium over the weekend, saw the Brewers, and I'll tell you what, they may not have the biggest names. They have Christian Yelich, of course, who was an MVP. But I'll tell you what, those average Joes of Pat Murphy just do everything right. They out-hustled, outplayed, out-everything the Dodgers, despite the Dodger offense waking up this weekend. And I'll tell you what, it looked awful. Teoscar Hernandez is ridiculous out there in the outfield right now. He misplayed a ball which should have been a double into a triple. Dodgers are just not doing all the little things, not paying attention on the base paths, bad defensive, 3 errors yesterday. We saw Clayton Kershaw kind of lose his cool in the dugout, and of course at the post-game locker room press conference, pretty much said, listen, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm not going to say anything anymore. So the Dodgers have now lost 10 out of the last 12. Remember that, a 7-game losing streak leading up into the All-Star break, which kind of was forgotten about because they beat the Giants 2 out of 3 of the last series before the All-Star break. But then they start getting swept by the Brewers. Their lead in the National League West is now 3.5 over the Padres, who are in Miami this week. And for the Dodgers, you know what? It has just been one of those things. They went from having the best record in baseball to the best record in the National League to right now the third best record in the National League. Scuffling, still atop, but man, you got to really think about what is going on with this team. We saw Dave Roberts move Mookie Betts to the leadoff spot, try to wake him up a little bit. Mookie ended up going 1 for 5 with a run scored in that game. He's hitting 182 the last month of the season, with only 2 home runs. Ohtani, the whole point of hitting him leadoff is to get him as many at-bats as you can. He hit second. He hit a home run yesterday, his 34th. Ended up having an okay weekend. He was 3 for 12 with a couple of home runs, 5 RBIs, but even he has struggled to make contact. And then, of course, the creme de la creme, right? The piece de resistance. You see Freddie Freeman get hit with a pitch in his left wrist. Thankfully, the x-rays are negative, but for Freddie Freeman, he's been scuffling as well, right? You know, he's hitting 292, 10 homers, 49 RBIs for the season, but only a $196 the last 15 games with zero home runs. So what do you do at first base? Well, there's no break. The Dodgers open up a 3-game series with the Minnesota Twins tonight. Well, there's Miguel Rojas, who took over for Freddie Freeman after he got hit with the pitch yesterday. Dalton Rushing, who is a catcher by trade, played a little outfield over in the Dodgers minor league system. He can also play some first base. Man, oh man. Again, and it just brings back the point I kept saying. Why you probably didn't let go of Miguel Rojas, because look what now he can do for you in terms of playing various different positions. Hit a home run on Saturday night at Dodger Stadium. Miguel can still play. You know, he's not gonna be, you know, the MVP of a series, so to speak, but he can, what he brings in the clubhouse, in the dugout, and a little bit on the field is well worth it. Dodgers need a lot of help right now. They are scuffling, and Dave Roberts, I don't know if he's got the answer right now. You know, I've been criticized on this very channel about, a statue for Dave Roberts. Well, he's going to earn that statue this week. You know, Dodgers are struggling. Dodgers are trying to figure out what's going on here in terms of hitting, defense, pitching. You know, you could always blame the starting pitching, right? All those guys got hurt. That has taxed the bullpen. Another 4 innings for the bullpen yesterday as Kershaw couldn't get out of the 5th inning. And yes, that all takes its toll. The invoice is coming through, and now Dodgers, I think, are seeing it right now. Where they're starting pitching, we saw Emmett Sheehan couldn't get out of the fourth inning Saturday night. They need 5, 6, 7 innings out of these pitchers. I'm not trying to be a caveman here, and I'm not trying to hit a panic button, but these 3, 4 innings out of a starting pitcher every night doesn't work. Does not work. And guess what? We're going to have another bullpen game tonight as Ohtani is on the mound tonight as the Dodgers start a series against the Minnesota Twins. So here we go again. All right, so we were talking about pitching. Well, what about Blake Snell? Well, he is doing well in the minor leagues. He had 58 pitches, 4 innings his last time out. Dodgers say they're going to give him one more rehab start, maybe try to get him to get into the 5th inning. The 6th inning. How about we try getting him into the 6th inning? Well, anyway, they want him to pitch at least 5 innings in one more minor league game before they bring him up. So that means probably when the Dodgers are on the road, they have a 3-game series with the Twins at Dodger Stadium this week, and then it gets interesting. Then they spend the weekend in Boston, go to Cincinnati, and then go to Tampa. All 3 of those teams are winning. Remember how hot Boston was before the end of the All-Star break. All are fighting for wild card spots. It's not easy for the Dodgers. It's not an easy stretch. This stretch right now against the Minnesota Twins, about the only team that's playing under 500. Remember, they go to Boston, they go to Cincinnati, and then they go to Tampa Bay, and then they come home and play the Cardinals and the Blue Jays. Again, all teams that are above 500, all teams that are fighting for the wild card. So the Dodgers are in the tall grass, if you will. It's time to activate the big dog. So we'll probably see Blake Snell, if all goes well with his next rehab start, when they want him to go at least 5 innings. That'll probably happen later this week into the weekend. So the Dodgers might see him in Tampa when the Dodgers go there. If not, when they return home in a couple of weeks against the Cardinals. So good to see Blake Snell close to being back, but we need him now. All right, so we always ask for your comments here on Dodgers Latest. We read them all. We respond to all. We even read some here on the air. What would you do as a GM? We've talked about it a lot. We've talked about, Yohan Duran, who's the closer of the Twins. He's going to be in town. Do you make a deal for him? Do you go out and get, another left-handed bat like a Ryan McMahon to play third base? We know we don't want Chris Taylor back. We know Julio Urias, who's been reinstated. He is a non-starter, literally and figuratively, although Urias isn't going to be able to pitch till September, if not easy for 26. So he's a non-starter. Who do you do? What do you do? I mean, is Teoscar Hernandez out at right field the way he's been playing defensively? Remember, he's in the first year of a 3-year, $66 million contract. So do you bench him for a little bit? Do you move Mookie out of shortstop over to right field? That seems to be the case. What would you do if you were the GM of the Dodgers in terms of trades, in terms of moving things around? Dodgers are in a bit of a mess right now, trying to get well. Everybody should be coming back, in a couple of weeks. Max Muncy, they say he's ahead of schedule with his knee. Blake Trinan is looking good. Tyler Glasnow is back. What would you do? I'd love to hear your comments, and we'll read them right here on the air. Remember, we're on here every day here on Dodgers Latest. Hit me up at Instagram and on X at JRod Show, and you can always leave your comments right here on Dodgers Latest on our YouTube page. Hit that thumbs up button. Let us know you're there. Keep liking, subscribing, tell a friend, and helping us grow. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Despite it all, it's always time for Dodger baseball.